I am Plankera. Today, we're going to continue cutting out the arch for a Shalom from Path to Nowhere rig. Yesterday, I have pretty much finished the entirety of the shirt. I think I have it, just all done now. Everything's cut, everything's redrawn. So now I was going to move on to the coat. I have most of the coat cut, or the initial cuts. So now I just kind of have to go and clean everything up, redraw everything, and all that good stuff. I'm just going to go ahead and hide everything. It's going to be nearby, and I'll consider the back of the coat part of the coat. So we're just going to go focus right in on the coat there. Okay, I'm going to start with this upper part. At some point I will have to go back in and, edit out the hand out of all this and all that good stuff. But I'm going to start with the upper part so I can flip it over to the other side and have all that looking nice. Alright. So let's go ahead and hide all this, get all the way to the bottom. I forget how I divided all this. Oh, I see. So I have the sleeve separate in its own group. That's good. Remembering how I did this. This is the hazards of cutting when you don't intend to redraw stuff right away. Okay. What are you? Okay, so this is the back. But I don't see where it is. Okay, it's over there. Okay, so that's this. Back of the belt. Oh, so why aren't you with the sleeve? Get in there. You were clearly supposed to be with the sleeve. Okay. And the collar is separate. And... Alright, I think I see what's going on here now. So that was the sleeve. This probably just has the lower part in it. Take out the sleeve there. Let's see what parts exist. So we have you. Okay, the belt pieces. The little flap. Okay, and so all of this is just going to be the back. So this part, and coming down here. Okay, that's easy enough to understand. So I will start cutting things out of that then. Just needed a second to remember exactly what I did there. So let's start cutting out the sleeve. And I'll worry about this belt and stuff later. I think I can afford to just do the upper parts for now. So this is going to kind of come this. And I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do all that, so I'm just going to be very messy with this until I start redrawing. This way I can get all the angles the way I want them. So this is going to come in here. All of this is going to come out. This is going to be straight across here. This is definitely going to be where the most extensive bit of redrawing is. Alright. And I guess I'll still keep that. I think this is a perfectly fine shape to follow. Alright, let's start getting some colors in. So I already know that this is going to come up like this. And I kind of want it to go in and then down from over here. Let's take a look at the sleeve. Okay, so this is what I have defined as the sleeve. Let's see, is the sleeve going to be on top of this part? I believe it is. This means that this line is going to follow this way. It's like I'm not going to see anything as I work here for now. Okay, and I want to take a look at where the shirt is. It'll probably be something like that. Now let's take a look at where these arms and the shirt is, just to make sure that I keep those underneath the shirt. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I'm not worried that I just erased a bit there, because I already know that I'm redrawing like all of this, so it's fine. So that means I probably want to do something like this, where I let this curve inward a little bit, and then I just bring this down. Make sure I cover the sleeve here. Okay. And then it'll come out like this. So this should give me a good idea of where the edges of this coat layer are going to be. It's going to be something like this. And I'll be a little bit more precise as I can see it more clearly. For the time being, we just gotta get started. Getting started is the first step, after all. And I want to be a little bit more careful about cutting down here. Just because I have not cut out that belt yet. In fact, did I cut too much? I might have. Let me see, where is the sleeve in all this? Does the sleeve cover this? It does. Okay, so maybe I should just cut out that belt now. If I'm finding myself afraid. Yeah, let's do it. It won't take that long. This way I just don't have to worry about it. I'm gonna go underneath the sleeve so I can just copy and paste from right here. I probably want to get the whole thing. Zoom out far enough that I can see the whole thing and I don't have to pull any shenanigans and do any scrolling. I just grab it. And I'm just gonna grab the loop and the swingy bit and just all of it. Okay. This is gonna be belt. Okay, so I will cut all those pieces and get all that set up later. Right now, I just want to be able to take it out of all this, so this way I can make my life simple and just cut everything out at once and redraw this entire lower coat area. Because that's already going to be pretty hard. There's a lot of ground to cover. So I might as well have everything cut out already. This way I can just not worry about overwriting things, not worry about cutting things too much. It's like it's already all out. So I can just freely draw. Okay. Now I can worry about connecting this top part to the bottom part. Getting rid of some of these shadows here, because I think I want this, this is going to be floppy enough that I just want it all on separate layers. So I'm going to be mostly taking these colors, and not those shadow colors that are nearby. And this line here I might actually separate onto another layer, but I'm just going to draw it. I'm just going to draw it first. I think it's a bit easier to understand where it should go if I just have it all drawn. And then I can cut it out. This one I may or may not cut out, because this is something else entirely. So as you can see, there's a lot of stuff I have to fill in here. This is quite a big area. So I'm gonna have to do a lot of guesswork, and that's gonna be a little bit painful, but I'll do my best. This won't be flopping around so much, so I'm gonna keep that shadow there. And I'll keep all of this through here too. This can just be dark areas for the collar. The other part over there I'm less sure on, so I'll do that a bit later. Start going over here. Get this top part defined. And I can kind of decide how I want to cut this out. It doesn't have to be exactly this shape. In fact, I think it might make a little bit more sense for me to do a little bit more like this. A lot of this is just deciding exactly how this underside should connect all the parts that have a little bit more movement in them. The only parts that I care about is making sure that it all lines up correctly down at the bottom there, where the flap connects. So I'll double check my work on the flap when the time comes. There we go. But so far, I think this looks pretty alright. Definitely gonna have to do some noise reduction, but I'll worry about that later. One thing at a time. One thing at a time. Oh boy. There's so many things to worry about here. Okay. Okay, I knew this day would come. I'd have to go in and redraw this entire jacket. That's why I didn't want to do it on the other side. That's why I wanted to see if I could get away with making it symmetrical. Because it's like, look at all this. I don't want to do it twice. Who wants to do this twice? Oh, and I don't have to. So I'll start getting rid of the belt over here. There we go. This is all just going to be very messy for a while. I'm just doing the broad strokes. Getting all the pieces in. And editing out all these parts that I don't want, so this way I can better understand what the heck I'm actually trying to do here. At some point this will probably drop down like that. And then we have this, that'll drop down like this. So the point where I care about is where it connects down here. Everything else is covered. So I just want to go in and make this part smooth. Try to follow the angle on the coat right here. There we go. Okay, how's that looking with the sleeve? Pretty alright, honestly. Yeah, I can see why with the shirt I wanted to do the redrawing before I did too much cutting. Sometimes that just makes your life a little bit easier. Ooh, this coat is very shiny. Very, very shiny. Oh, how much of this is shadow from the sleeve? Yeah, this just seems to be the color, so I think this is okay. This is all going to be shadow from the collar. I don't plan for it to move that much, so I'm just going to embrace this. This is going to cut all the way across. Just a big old seam in a big leather coat. This defines the edge here. Still being pretty messy. I'm not worrying too much about a lot of things. Okay, so now I can start kind of replacing the flap. How's it looking so far? So far it is looking like I've managed to take most of it out. Alright, I think that's good. And then, once I kind of get the gist here, I'll go around and make sure the edges are nice, and then I can just lock the transparent pixels and go in there and clean this all up. So let's see here. Honestly, this is probably good enough. I'm gonna go check along the edges here. Make sure everything's filled in. Make sure everything's smooth. I'll worry about color and texture correction a bit later. Oh man, I'm realizing that this is probably the last thing I'm gonna do before I go back and revisit some hair shadows. That'll be interesting. I say that with a little bit of exasperation in my voice, but no, I think it'll actually be okay. I'm gonna have to think about how I want to do it, because a lot of people do shadows with just standard multiply layers, and that makes sense, but it's never how I've done it. I've always used solid colors, and the problem is if I do it like that, then I'm gonna have to be like a separate layer for each kind of texture that they could go on. Because I need one for the skin, one for the shirt, and one for the coat. And having 3 layers of hair shadows seems kind of like madness. So I'm still kind of trying to figure out how I want to go about it. But, it's like that would let me pick exactly the color I want, but the downside, you know, is I have 3 hair layers for every single strand. It's probably gonna be like 30 or 40 layers. And I'm just not sure doing it like that makes sense. Okay, I want to match this angle a little bit better. I think this needs to go out a little bit more. Just send it out a bit more. Yeah. Okay. Oh yes, I'm still kind of thinking about how I want to go about handling all the other hair shadows that I need to do. I'll see how multiply layer looks in all this. It's kind of a shame that I wouldn't be able to precisely pick the color that I like, which is why I rarely use multiply layers to begin with. Well, it's a reason. The other reason is just the nature of my workflow, but... the nature of the workflow of, if you've ever watched any of my actual drawing streams, I tend to... I draw with, blobs instead of lines, you know, kind of like what you're seeing here, where it's like I'm deciding where the light and shadow falls pretty early on. And while I'm painting, I often need a shadow color just to help me see the 3D space of everything, 3D shapes. And so I just pick the color right then. I just mix it right on the canvas, and I pick the color, and I roll with it. So it doesn't lend itself well to flat colors, or, you know, line art than flat colors. And a lot of the methods that I see many artists use. So it leaves me at a bit of a loss of how to multiply layer. I just don't use them. Very rarely do I use blend modes. I do occasionally, though. Especially for things like eyes. Doesn't mean I draw anime. You gotta put way too much effort in the eyes, it's like required. There we go. Okay, so I think that's pretty good for that edge. And this edge I didn't modify that much, so it's probably okay. I'll just go over it real quick just to make sure. There we go. Okay, that should be fine. So I'll go ahead and lock it and see about blending some of these colors together. Okay, how are we gonna do this? So these colors are blended much more softly than this artist does a lot of other blending. Oh, the head is in the way. I need to turn it off again. Off with your head. Off with your head so I can see what I'm doing. Let's go. Admittedly, I don't know that much about leather textures, so I'm just gonna kind of follow this artist's lead and make them pretty smooth. What's down here? Let's come down here. Man, I got a lot of stuff to go over. It's alright, we'll get there. We will get there. Is it actually this dark, or is this just because of arm sleeve shadow thing? Whew. That's where I have to make decisions. How much of it is dark? How much of it is not? Let me go look at the original for a moment. I'll just look at my unupscaled reference to give myself some ideas. Because yeah, some of this is definitely shadow, but some of it is just, this is just the colors used. And I think right around here is probably the best reference I'm going to get. So I'm going to start with down here. And that little mark actually is there. Okay. I will not overblend that then. This little guy right here that I was starting to blend in. But no, that's actually part of the original, so I will avoid doing too much with that. See, this part right here is pretty dark. I guess that's just fold. I'll try to blend that in a little. Yeah, and you can see there's a fold right here. I'm gonna try to blend in these colors a bit just because that is clearly upscale artifacting and not actual texture. This might be something though, so I'll leave that mostly intact. I do have the layer locked, right? Okay, good. Is that like that? The part that I'm working on there? Yeah, there's a big path of light right through there. Yeah, I can see it. There we go. Did I miss a little spot when I was cutting? No, doesn't seem so. That's something else, I guess. Maybe just a place where I need to adjust back the coat a little bit. I'm not sure. But it does not seem to be part of this layer. Let me just triple check that. I don't know, man. rid of some of these random dots. Is it actually like that? Yeah, it just stops. That little highlight right here. This is exactly how it looks in the original, so I will leave it just like that. I think it's a bit weird, but I trust the original artist on this. And I am here to replicate the style as much as my skill level allows, not to, I don't know, declare something a mistake and fix it. I want to keep everything, mistakes and all. And even then, it may not even be a mistake. Just want to clean up some of this artifacting while I'm in here. My good old trusty airbrush. The pressure sensitivity on Krita's airbrush is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So I can do a lot of things with it. That's really good. I've liked it better than Photoshop's soft brushes a lot ever since I switched over. It's just really nice to use. It's my workflow perfectly. I never really liked the way Photoshop's soft brushes made things look. It had a, I don't know, particular shiny, slimy quality to it that I didn't really like, whereas this just brings everything together and I think it looks great. Okay. So I've cleaned up the bottom a bit. I don't want to overdo it. Just kinda want to smooth out those colors a bit, and I can see this is where I started redrawing. You can tell pretty easily here. Now I have to pay a bit more attention. Can't just lightly go over things anymore. Alright. This is a coat seam. I'll go ahead and draw it properly for now. I will probably cut it out later, but if I draw it properly here, that'll be less to worry about when it comes time to cut it out, so that'll be fine. No wasted effort. This way I can make sure that it blends in seamlessly with the rest of the coat, exactly as it should. Let's get these highlights and shadows in there. Okay, so all of this is stuff that I drew. Good, this means I can make up whatever I want through here. That means nothing here is part of the original, and I can just follow my heart. Just do exactly what I think the original art suggests I should do. And maybe move things out a little bit right there here. Right now they're looking maybe a touch blobby. Probably don't have to be this much of a perfectionist on something that's mostly going to be covered up, but it's fine. It makes me happy. Do what I want. So for here, it probably does make sense for it to get a little bit dark. Yeah, you can kind of see it does it right here. So if anything, I might be going a little bit too light. Where's the... Okay. I'm assuming I just pulled the light color off there. So I'll go ahead and blend these a little bit more seamlessly. Let's start working on the seam over here too, while I'm in the area. Oh man, there's just a lot. Looking alright so far though. Alright, I'm gonna jump around a little bit. And I'm going to just get rid of this strand of hair right here. Okay. And that little strand of hair is just disappearing nice and easily for me. Very nice. Especially compared to how complicated the bottom part is proving. There's just a lot to redraw in that area, which means I have to do a lot of guesswork. That is very mentally taxing when I'm trying to imitate a style as closely as possible like this. Whereas this is a very tiny area, and therefore very easy. Alright. Phew. That is a lot of stuff. Alright, let's make this light part a little bit thinner to match up with everything down there. Okay, I think this is looking alright. I think I've got the belt pretty much edited out. Nothing there looks around that area looks especially foreign. Yeah, I could still have to largely get the top part. I haven't cut it, of course. Alright, I think I'm actually going to take a break from this part and do a little bit on the sleeve. Because this sleeve has a bunch of stuff that needs to be just cut out and erased on the original layer. I remember that I haven't done any of that. So let me remind myself how I cut this again. If I go back and find the original here. Yeah, there we go. Maybe? Okay, no, this is the original. No? Yes. Huh, did I, cut everything out? How did I do this? Outer... Inside... Okay, I see. I see. So this is the one that has all of it. And this represents... this. Okay. Just taking a moment to remember what I was doing with all that. So if I hide all of the other layers, I should still see everything. Perfect. Alright, let's cut. Then I'll probably do some basic redrawing on this guy too. Just kind of get everything started. I can tell that there must be something going on outside today because my eyes have been quite itchy. See, this is why I prefer winter when everything's dead. You don't get allergies in the winter. Or at least I don't. I'll probably cut this out and then, now that I've looked away for a second, go look at the rest of the code again. The part that I was redrawing before. And I'll try to get all that done. Trying to get this as smooth as possible, and I definitely want to pay attention to the white line width here. I might have to switch to white for a moment just to really make sure I got it all. Let's get the easy parts before I start really worrying about the harder parts. Okay. I got all those easy parts done. Well, let's get in there. Let's get in there and make all this look nice. This is... the part that this is on top of is not black. So this is all line width. And I want to try to keep as much of it as I can. Try to keep it as accurate as possible. Something like that. Let me see. Did I... okay, that's for the belt. And that's for that. Okay. Oh yes, this should be correct. Just a little curve right there. I'm not sure why, but it looks fine enough. So that should be correct. I already have all these belts and stuff separated, so now I can just go in there and clean all this up. And I know I still have a few other parts that I need to cut. Or not cut, but to finish kind of cleaning up in this area. So if I get fatigued on the main code again, I can always go and cut those real quick. So here I mostly just did quick and dirty separation. There we go. There we go. That should get everything here. Let's go ahead and turn on all the layers. Oh boy, there's a lot of them. Okay. So yes, I still have quite a lot of actual redrawing to do, but I at least got that part cleaned. So let's go back over here now that I've had just a little break. And I'll go back to trying to figure out what the heck is going on here. So it does look like this dark spot continues up here and isn't necessarily just because of the sleeve's shadow. I'll keep it like that. And let's see, how smooth are the folds here? We have this one that's pretty well defined, this one, and then up here it was very smooth. Look at my other reference too. Yeah, some parts of this have very, very smooth gradations. Other parts do not. Okay, so I'm gonna have to kind of make some guesses. So what I'm seeing here is that the dark part of the shadow probably makes a shape like this. I will keep that. And everything within there will be dark. And then we kind of have this mid-shadow. That does something a bit more like this. Let me see where the collars were again. So I know we have the big one. And then we have these smaller ones. What are you guys? Okay, those are that. The little belts on top of this. Okay. So we have it like that, which means there was like this dark part kind of came up like this and then probably fades back in down here. Something like that. How did it look over here? Yeah, that is indeed something like that. Best way to describe it. So this isn't exactly the same, but it's pretty close. I might put in some effort to get it exactly the same. Let's go take a look at the original here. I don't think I need the shirt anymore. So I can do that. Then I'll hide these layers again. I'm just going to take it from the original by reducing the opacity like this. Or maybe even just on and off. Probably a bit of both. Okay. Let's get that opacity way down. Okay, so we have this color right here. It does this. And then we have the dark color right here. It does this. And then we have this light color up here. It does this. And kind of a mid-tone around here. That does this. So this should get me close to what the original was doing, and I should kind of be able to fill in the rest myself. Okay, we'll use that color instead. I can do that, that's fine. I'll keep the original around for reference a little bit longer. I think I might need it. Okay. This should be alright now. Just gotta smooth it all out, blend everything in. All that good stuff. And then I just kinda have to decide how a lot of this is gonna, I don't know, look underneath this big old flap. I have the flap hidden right now, but you know, this guy. That's where the choice is, isn't it? So we have this spot in the shoulder that's a bit lighter. And that's caused by the plane going out this way. So it's like, I do think that this part is just lighter. If I come down here, we'll pull this up. This is probably more accurate to the color of the coat than up here, because this is colors I probably took from the flap. Okay, and then we have the shadow here that I'm just gonna round out, make it a nice shape, and we'll call it good. Okay, and the bit that I'm cutting out right now is not a shadow, it's just part of this flap. I probably want to take a bit of this color. Like I can see that's what I was doing here. I just didn't press hard enough. And there's like a little highlight here. That kind of implies that there's a fold going on over here. See if I can kind of feel out where it actually is. Let's see if I can feel out where some of these shadows are, where these folds are. It's like there's something going on over here. I'm not entirely sure what it is. I think I'm gonna go cut the belt for a second while I think about this. Use something a little bit easier. Well, my brain wants to kind of try to understand. So I'll get this cut out. If my brain needs a little more flop time, I'll go ahead and cut out the other pieces that are going to be here, but for now, I'll just get this out of here. This is all just sleeve. I'm going to have to draw more of this later. Okay. This all just looks like part of the coat, so I'll try to get as much of that out as I can, while hopefully still keeping a bit of line. Just so I don't have to redraw quite as much. There we go. And there we go. Look at that go. Just getting it all out there, even if my brain doesn't want to think about colors right now. It's okay, there's lots of other stuff to do. This is one thing that I've found helpful in maximizing my artistic work time, is just if one particular thing's not working that day, rather than beat my head against it, just try poking at some other things. Try to get a little bit further somewhere else. Like, sometimes you just gotta beat your head against it. Like, there's no getting around it. You can't really make any other decisions until you get that part figured out. But that's not always the case. Just like right here. Right here, I don't have to go and redraw all the complicated parts of the coat, like, immediately. It's fine if I just go ahead and cut out this piece of the belt. I do not need the coat redrawn in order to cut out this belt. So while that's being a little bit difficult for me, I can just go do something a little bit easier that still needs to get done. Just don't use that as an excuse to procrastinate. It's like, I do have to redraw the coat. That is something that has to be done before I can properly, finish this and start rigging it. So don't let your brain get lazy, but, if it's just not working for you that day, go find something else to poke at in the same picture. It's more helpful than just not drawing for that day. At least I think so. at least then, you still make a little bit of progress doing something that you have to do. This is why sometimes I leave some super brain-dead things. Or just, you know, days like this or near the end. It's like if I just don't have a brain-dead day, then that just means that the end will be very easy. Because all the brain-dead stuff is all that's left. Hooray. Okay. Belt is cut. Let's go back and take another look at the coat. Just go back and forth for a little while. Oh man, that's just quite a clusterfuck that I'm gonna have to work through. On the bright side, with the way this is set up, it's like we have this angle here. So back here probably is dark. So I think this is probably right. It'll be something like this. Let's take a look at this part. I'd say this part is probably relatively easy to understand. Let me go take a quick look at the reference. Let's see here. Or the original. Man. So yeah, there are a lot of really nice shadows down there. Honestly, I might cut them out from the original. Rather than trying to draw my own, because I actually really like the way they look. That technique might be something I keep in mind for the future. Okay. How similar are those in color? This is much more gray. So the flap is a lot more gray than the coat itself. So I should be very careful taking colors from where the flap is. But up here is pretty fair game. So I should definitely more be taking stuff from down here and up here. Okay. So this is probably gonna go around to where the sleeve is. So let's see, where do I have the sleeve ending? Like right over there. So this probably goes like all the way down here. This is not the right color. How's this? Probably alright. Like it's covered. Let me see. How exactly do I have this cut? Okay, so I might adjust the angle of the sleeve a little bit. Okay, so I should draw this nicely. We kind of have this going. It'll surround the sleeve. This will tell me where the sleeve should go when it comes time to rig this. And then this can go in. And I think this can just be mostly dark. Yeah, something like that I think could work. Something like that. And then this should connect nicely down to here. There we go. I want to be careful taking colors from up here. Probably want to get mostly from down there. Let me see, where is the big flap again? Where is it safe to pull colors? Okay, so I can get pretty much whatever I want from down here. Let me go look at the original again. Okay, so there's like this big fold around where the belt used to be. Where's the belt? Down there. Okay. So that's what these colors are. What was there? Okay, so I just painted over that part. So I can do what I want. And what is causing... Okay, so this dark part is the shadow from the flap. So yes, I definitely want this to continue upward. And then there's like a big fold right around there. Okay, I am starting to understand. Gradually, I will just put all these pieces together. So this part is a bit lighter. And it looks like the other side here, it's a bit lighter at the same time. I probably want it going up like this. And then there's a big old fold just to the side here. Let's get this color up in here. So far all this checks out with everything else that I've drawn, so I think I'm on the right track. I'm probably gonna have to add a bunch more colors for style matching purposes, but that's fine, I can do that. Just taking a look at everything. It's like, I know what I'm going for, but... Oh man, this is just a big complicated area. Big complicated area. Okay. Looking at the original again, there's probably a dark spot. Where's the belt? It's like right here. And then eventually it kind of blends more into this, where it's not quite as dark. And how exactly does that end up looking? Okay, I think I see what's going on. Some of it is shadow from the coat sleeve, but I think some of it is a fold from the belt here. It's like these colors are quite similar. But I think I need to pull more of this light color up here. Yeah. Something like this. It's gonna be problem solving. There's lots of problems to be solved right now. Lots and lots of them. Okay. And then we have this seam. I think it's a bit thinner than this. Yeah, it's definitely much thinner than this. I'm not exactly sure where it ends, but it does not go all the way up into the shoulder. Because I can clearly see it. It's definitely not all the way up in the shoulder, so I kind of have to figure out where it ends. This might be where the sleeve connects. That would actually make sense, yeah. Let me see. I'm actually going to check some other sources just to double check this and see if I can't get a good shot of where exactly it goes. There we go. Okay, because I see under P3 art. Yeah, it still gets covered up by there, but I can kind of see it does seem to follow the angle that it probably does connect where the sleeve goes. Okay. And then all the rest, it's definitely very much covered up, so that is going to be my assumption now. So that means that this just get the color probably around there. So this is going to start going up like this, probably connecting to the sleeve. darkest color there. And we'll connect here. So I think this is like this. Okay. At the very least, it makes sense for my purposes. I think most of this is going to be covered up. I just kind of want to be prepared. But it makes sense in my head, so I'm going to roll with it. And it'll make dividing everything else up easier. Okay, and so that line clearly just follows the hem of the coat here. I don't need to worry about this one quite so much. This one is very straightforward. Just gotta try to keep a relatively consistent width from the edge, and he'll look good. And I'll just go up into the shadow. Okay. I'll just smooth this out as I go, since it's a pretty big line. I'm pretty sure this is all something I drew, right? So I don't have to care what it looks like? Yeah. Okay, so this is all stuff that I just made up. Oh, I should put this line where I think it goes. Be a little bit neater than that, though, please, self. Okay. And then I'll make it a bit thinner. There we go. I think that's looking alright. And then it'll go right up into the shadow area. And that should be fine. I don't think I need to get any more specific than that. Alright. I think this tracks with how it's been drawn in general, because I see that there's like a gradient getting darker as you go lower, and then this top part is much lighter. So I think having it get lighter as I go higher follows with how the rest of the style is working. So let's take a look at the highlighter on the belt here. There's like a little fold underneath it. Do I see that? Okay, I might have gotten rid of it. I probably want to keep that. So let's turn on the original and try to get it back. Okay. So I can see it right there. So we'll just put a very firm touch right here. There we go, and now it's back. Now I want to take a look here. I see it kind of continues over to this side. And up into here. So it's shaped something like this. And then goes like this. And then there's that dark spot right there. Okay, so I think I have this drawn well now. I have this little fold right here. A little fold that I saw when I was looking at those light parts. Okay. This is making certain other parts make a little bit more sense to me, so I'm glad that I decided to go double check that. We'll extend this a bit higher. Because of that fold, now this is maybe making a bit more sense. Yeah, this part is covered by the belt. Mostly. So you get something like this. And then this little fold right here, the part that goes downward, is probably a bit longer than that. It's probably something like this. There we go. And over here, the transition is much smoother. We'll smooth some of this out. This nice and smooth. This is why a lot of this is a little bit difficult. It's just a lot of very detailed stuff that I have to pay attention to. There's a lot to it, since I want to match the style so closely. Okay. Once again, just seeing which parts are real and which parts I made up, so I don't have to care too much about overwriting them. Alright. And now I feel like I can safely move this into... Where should it be? And this is gonna go out like this, probably into this like this. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I mean, I'll have to make those lines pretty and everything, but... It's starting to look about right. Let's see how much I can get done before my brain just decides, nope, I'm done. Kind of... This was unintentional, but I think I kind of like having the little shadow here. So I'm gonna keep it. I think it looks nice. I'm gonna harden this up a little bit. Okay, so I think something like this will look okay. And this will give me a place to transition the light into something a little bit less light, which I appreciate. And I can get all this in there. I think that'll make it look right. Yes. Very much so. Okay, so I think that's about half there. Let's go take another look at the original. See how much I can glean from over here. Okay. So I think I want to take some of this color and bring that into here. And keep the lightest part for this, just the very side there. And then I can transition this a little bit more smoothly. Have a little bit of fold. So I think something like this will look good. With this light part. The lightest of the light part. Coming down a little like that before kind of fading out and becoming a bit darker. Here we go. Something like that. Something like that. Okay. Well, maybe that doesn't actually make sense. Yeah, I probably want it to be more like this. Or it kind of goes in a little. I need it to be a little bit smoother here. Okay. That should be fine. Yeah, I think that's okay. Right now, I think I just want to get this little seam all drawn out. I think I just need to get it the right width. And all that good stuff. Right now, I think it's okay if I get it a little bit too thin, because I just want to be able to safely go back over it. So I'm erring on the side of making it too thin rather than too thick. So I think that'll make it easier in the long run. There we go. Not draw lines today for some reason. It's okay, it happens. But I do want to try to finish this before I stop. I might leave the upper part here for next time. I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna make all that make sense. But we'll see how I feel once I finish these tiny little seams. Yeah, I like the way this moves in there. I think it works. I think it works. So we'll leave it like that. So here I don't have to get it perfectly straight, but I would like the width to be at least somewhat consistent. And ultra, ultra thin. And also clean on both sides. Not like blobby or have some spots where it just kind of changes color and that kind of thing. Down here I think it's okay for it to be a little bit thicker. Okay. So that seems pretty good. It's like the lower part is stuff that the original artist did, so that's none of my business, I guess you could say. And all of this I already know is covered by the flap. All of this is already just guesswork on my part. So I get to decide where the shadows are and where the lights are. I think it makes more sense for it to be mostly light. Let me take a look at the original before I make too many more decisions once I get this kind of trimmed out the way I want it. Okay, so the way it works in the original... Why is the arm on? Go away. Is it's folding inward. So to an extent I probably do want it to get darker as I get closer to the edge. But that will come later. Right now I think I want this light color up in here. And then I'll have it transition to a darker color. After. What is... Okay, that's just... in the lower layers. Okay, and then I can worry about this little seam coming out here. Where's the flap? Okay, so everything here and below is original, so I want to keep that. But everything else, everything above that is stuff I did. So it's just stuff I'm making up, and I can do what I want. Alright. Let's make this fold nice. Or I guess the seam. It's less of a fold, more of a seam. I'm mostly focusing on getting it in the right spot on the side close to the edge there. Because, I mean, this is way too thick right now, but that's okay. I'll get it the correct width a little bit later. Okay, and where's the flap? Okay, so this is the right color. I made it a little bit too light. Sometimes it can be hard to pick, surprisingly hard to pick exactly the right color. Okay, so I think this is in the right spot now. Let's make it the right width. This should be very, very thin. And actually, I should probably start from the bottom. Up again. Okay, so right through here, this is all correct. We'll imitate based on that. One here is a bit thicker than the other one. So I will try to get that right. This is coming together nice and quickly. It's very delicate work though, so I apologize if I get quiet. I always have trouble with strokes like this. So it might be a little quiet. I hope you enjoy the piano music in the meantime, while I try to get this right. Okay, I think we're good. Now I can worry about getting it all nice and smooth on this side. And then I'll worry about getting some darker colors running down the side. Just getting it clean. I thought it was a little bit blotchy on that side. There we go. Alright, now I'm going to steal some colors here. And we're going to run a dark spot down the side here. I still have to do the lines. But for now, we're just going to do this. I don't want it to be too blotchy. I just want it to be nice and smooth. This is just a long, thin area of color, and I always have a little bit of trouble with those, so. It's a bit rough. That should be good. And then I want to kind of do the same thing a little bit higher up. I think I need to take away the original for a second so I can see what I'm doing here. Case in point, I did not fill in that hole very well. I think that's pretty good. Now I just kind of want to smooth out some of this stuff. Like, it doesn't necessarily need to be smooth, but there's a bit of blotchiness and random colors here and there that I just need to clear out. And see here, this doesn't look great. There we go. And just get all these colors working together to find the edge of the sleeve here. And then there's some parts that get really, really shiny. I'm not sure if I should put any of that on here. I mean, it looks like this, if it was going to go anywhere, it'd be like right there, but I think something like this might work a little bit better. Gotta start kind of making this top part of the sleeve make sense. I guess it's not the sleeve, the shoulder. Maybe something like this. I believe in the colors that I put through here. And I'll believe in some of the colors I put through here. Sometimes you just gotta believe. Otherwise you'll drive yourself crazy. There we go. It's coming together a little bit. It's like I know the shadow's mostly from the collar, so I don't want it to be too, like, I don't know, bold-like. There we go. And look at that. Like, this is obviously not fully smoothed out, but just wanted to take a look at the rest. I'm not quite sure if it fits in yet. But I'm not sure if I have the energy to do it right. I think anything I draw here will probably just be redrawn again tomorrow, so I think I will end it there, and we can turn on all the layers. See how we're doing. Yep, we're getting there. This is probably going to be the hardest part for a while. And once I draw that, I can move this over to the other side, and I'll be very happy. I finally won't have that big gaping hole right there. It'll be nice to be able to get the coat done. Alright, well, thank you all for coming. If you'd like me to take a look at your own creative projects, whether that be art, writing, coding, game design, any creative pursuit you can think of, feel free to message or at me on Twitter or Instagram, and I'll take a look and maybe leave some comments. Well, I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye. Oop, wrong one. There we go. We're not starting again. We're ending. I'm sorry.